Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Tatlo po actually ang...
A passenger of MV Trisha Kirsten 3 was emotional as he narrated before the House Committee on Transportation his experience when the vessel sank off Basilan last month. Attorney Aquino Sagili says the vessel was listing even before it left the port.
They even talked to the crew members on board. Sir, bakit tagilid ang barko? Is it okay for us to sail? And they were assured, yes, okay lang yan. There is really gross negligence.
Another passenger claimed the life vests were kept inside a locked cabinet.
Kinailangan din pong sipain ng ibang passenger para ma-open lang po yung lock and yung pagka-kuha po namin ng life jacket namin and pagka-open po namin ng life jacket, sira po. Wala pong mga whistle din at the same time yung life jacket po namin.
I think it's just very basic that it should be the responsibility of the ship owner. I mean, yung life vest, bakit po linalock yan? Mahal po ba yun? Magkano ba yun? What possible reason would there be for locking a life-saving device?
Per SOP, bawal po talaga ilock. Yung mga crew, they have to see to it that this is accessible.
Congressman also asked, was MV Trisha Kirsten 3 overloaded before it sank? Especially since Pag-asa said the weather was generally good at that time. They also questioned why some passengers were not in the manifest. The Philippine Coast Guard says, based on its latest validated report, the number of passengers was below the vessel's authorized maximum capacity.
We have 372 all in all. That includes the survivors, the recovered cadavers, and the missing. The ship has an authorized maximum passenger capacity of 352. It is allowed to have 24 crew, or a total of 376. Based on the record presented, Your Honor, as validated by the ongoing operations on the ground, it is not yet in excess of the authorized maximum passenger capacity, including the authorized number of officers and crew.
But the Transportation Department's initial findings were different, which it disclosed before a Senate panel.
Initial findings, one, the vessel exceeded its passenger capacity. Its capacity, authorized capacity po is 352 plus 24 to 27 crew members allowed. As of yesterday po, the numbers were, there were 293 survivors, 52 cadavers recovered, and 24 are missing. Meron hong inconsistency sa passenger manifest dahil sa survivors, sa number ho ng survivors and cadavers recovered. Meron po sa kanilang wala dun sa passenger manifest. So, the finding is nag-exceed po sila sa passenger capacity.
Marina says it has relieved its regional director in the area of the incident and some ship surveyors while review is ongoing. The PCG, meanwhile, has implemented preventive suspension on 6 personnel. But for Senator Raffy Tulfo, this is not enough, as he called out the vessel's age, a sentiment shared by at least one more lawmaker at the lower chamber.
Bakit walang criminal case against dito sa may-ari ng barko? Bakit administrative lang? It's just a slap on the wrist? Heck no. Hindi pwede.
Yes, sir.
Baka meron kayong pinagtatakpan dito.
Wala po, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Ang-
File a criminal case against Allison. The owners, especially. Kasi yung mga may-ari may kapabayaan dito.
Yes,
Alam
Mr.
nila na bulok yung barko nila and yet pinalarga pa rin nila.
Allison Shipping gave assurances it has extended assistance to victims of the incident, but some victims say they are not getting enough support.
I have on record here, Your Honor, that for accidental death, it covers around 200,000, and for the emergency assistance is 50,000. So right immediately during the tragedy, when the survivors were brought to Zamboanga Port, we immediately released the 10,000 initial financial assistance to the survivors.
The House panel will issue a subpoena for the owner of Allison Shipping to attend its next hearing.
The camp of former Senator Bong Revilla questioned the plunder complaint filed against him as his co-respondents, former Department of Public Works and Highways Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo and engineers Henry Alcantara and Gerard Opulencia, were supposedly discharged, having been earlier named as state witnesses. Revilla attended the continuation of the preliminary investigation of his plunder case at the Department of Justice.
Supporters niyo, sir? Paano nakakatulog yung mga nag-akusa sa akin?
Revilla spokesperson attorney Francesca Senga stressed that with the supposed discharge of Revilla's co-respondents, the plunder case will only have him and unnamed John and Jane Does as respondents.
How can it be a conspiracy kung nag-iisa lang, di ba? Yun. So yun po talaga ay isang katanungan dyan.
Senga said the legal team of Revilla will review their options with the new development in the case. She also pointed out the supposed changes in the statements of Bernardo. DOJ spokesperson attorney Paulo Martinez said the state witnesses have yet to provide the panel of prosecutors a copy of their certificate of materiality issued by the Witness Protection Program, and only upon fulfillment of the requirements will they be discharged. Martinez said that in the resolution of the prosecutors, there will also be a discussion of their participation in the case. Supporters of Revilla meantime held a protest outside the DOJ and shouted that the former DPWH officials are the ones who should be charged with plunder.
Malinis ang konsensya ni Senator Bong Revilla sa lahat ng mga ibinibintang sa kanya. Kung babalikan nga po natin, isinuko niya noong Enero yung kanyang sarili na babalita pa lamang sa media, no, na meron siyang warrant of arrest bilang pagpapakita na malinis ang kanyang konsensya.
Bureau of Corrections Director General Gregorio Pio Catapang meantime said convicts in the flood control cases will be committed to the Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm in Occidental Mindoro, and requests to be accommodated in the new Bilibid Prison in Muntinlupa City will be turned down. Catapang noted that the NPP facility is winding down its operations and set to be closed in line with the decongestion program of the Bucor.
Wala na po kasi ang lately na na-acquire natin property north of Metro Manila, yung binigay ni Governor Umali sa Nueva Ecija, Palayan City, 60 hectares. Pero doon natin i-implement yung gusto ni President na unified penology and correctional system. Doon na po gusto ng Nueva Ecija, doon na rin ilagay yung provincial jail.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. and the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down and down. It's happened during every economic cycle, and it will happen again. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value and sometimes grows during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is a perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting young man who is something to reckon with because he's a young Filipino-American and he is running for Vice Governor of Illinois under the flagship of Mr. Bailey, who's running for governor. And his name is Mr. Aaron Del Mar. And you're from Palatine, right?
That's right. I grew up in the city of Chicago in Portage Park.
Palatine.
And
Okay.
then moved to Palatine.
Aaron,
That's correct.
welcome to our show. We're very proud to welcome you here. And knowing that you're a young Filipino-American who's running for a very top position here in our state of Illinois.
Thank you for having me on
Aaron,
your show today.
welcome. Okay. Will you please, first thing first, will you please tell us a little bit of background about yourself, about your experience in or experiences in public service?
Of
As you're
course.
running
So,
for public service.
yes, I grew up in the city of Chicago in Portage Park, moved out to Palatine with my dad. My dad immigrated here in 1974 from Cebu. He met my mom, who is a nurse. She worked at Resurrection Hospital on Division Street in Chicago, and had some success in athletics in Palatine High School. Got a scholarship to Indiana University, where I was a pretty good athlete there, was 3 times All-American, went on to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, represented our country in the 2000 World Championships in Malaga, Spain. And then I came home after my athletic career and started a business and started a family. I'm a father of 6 children here in Palatine. My oldest are 22, then 20, then 17, then 10 years old. I started in politics in 2009. I ran for city councilman in Palatine. Roughly 68,000 people live in my town. I was the youngest, first minority to become elected as a city councilman. I went on in 2010 and became the Palatine Township Republican chairman, which is about 185,000 people, encompassing Palatine, Inverness, Rolling Meadows, Hoffman Estates, Arlington Heights, Barrington, and some parts of South Barrington. In 2012, I became the Cook County Republican chairman for the first time. 2016, I became the highway commissioner, president of the Inverness Fire Protection District, and also a delegate to the National Convention in Cleveland. 2020, I was again a delegate to the National Convention. 2004, also a delegate to the convention in Milwaukee. I also served on the Illinois International Port Authority. I've had another appointment to the Asian Family Services organization here in Illinois, one by the minority leader of the House of Representatives, the other one by the governor of Illinois. And I currently serve still as the Cook County Republican chairman, highway commissioner. And I'm excited to run again for lieutenant governor with Darren Bailey, very strong conservative from Southern Illinois, very much in line with a lot of our conservative policies. And it's a great opportunity. And I am proud to carry the banner for Filipino Americans in Illinois as one of the youngest and first Filipinos and Asians running from this office.
Aaron, okay. Nice to hear. Very impressive. All right. Okay. Being a young Filipino American and more than that, an Asian American here in our state of Illinois, what are the agendas or the platform that you have for running for vice governor position?
Sure. Well, the three main things that we're running on are something that everybody in the state of Illinois can agree on. They're what we call 80-20 issues. The first one is affordability, specifically property taxes, utility bills. It's unacceptable in Illinois when you have many people that have a higher property tax than their mortgage payment. When people are seeing a 30-40% increase in their utility bills and their electric and their gas, these are things that affect all Illinoisans and need to be relooked at. There are 250,000 people that have left Illinois in the last 10 years that have not returned and not have been replaced. So we lose our representation in Washington. And when they leave also, they leave that burden of taxes with us. So affordability is the number one issue. Number two is public safety. As you've seen in Chicago specifically over the last couple of months, Labor Day weekend, 40 people were shot, 13 people lost their lives over 3 days. If you look at the Christmas tree lighting in Chicago and the opening of Chris Kindle Mart, 14 shots rang out, a 13-year-old lost their life. On the CTA, just a few months ago, somebody was doused with lighter fluid and lit on fire. People just want to be able to get to work, get to school, get to the grocery store and get home without having to worry about being harmed along the way. And then finally, education. Personally, I grew up in the city of Chicago and went to school for the first 4 years there. And, when my parents took me out of school in fourth grade, it was because I could not read, I could not write, and I could not count at a fourth grade level. And they moved me to a Catholic school. And really, that's a double tax. I mean, part of your property bills is supposed to pay for a quality education. So my parents had to work harder to be able to pay for that additional tuition so I could get those integral skills that you need to be able to thrive in Illinois and not just survive. Fortunately enough, they worked hard and moved us to the suburbs where I could get that better education in the Palatine school districts and in Palatine High School. But we want to make sure that everywhere in Illinois, no matter where you're from, if you're from Sangamon County, if you're from Cook County, if you're from DuPage County, if you're from Saline County, that you have that access to quality education. So every child that graduates high school in Illinois, if they go into the workforce, if they go to the military, if they go to trade school, or if they're fortunate enough like me to be able to go on to college, that they're prepared on day one for wherever life takes them.
Great, terrific. Okay. Here in Illinois, there is quite a large number of Filipino American population. And are you aware of that?
I am. My family came here. Like I mentioned, we were originally from Naga and Cebu. My aunts and my uncles all came and they left their lives in the Philippines in the early 70s to come to the United States to live that American dream. And one of the reasons that I'm running and representing not only Filipino Americans across Illinois, but also representing everyday Americans and everyday Illinoisans is because I want to make sure that that promise that they was made to them when they left the Philippines to come here is still around for their children, for their grandchildren, and future generations. Darren and I believe that Illinois has a generational opportunity here to get Illinois on the right track, and that our leadership and our beliefs and our values are what most Illinoisans believe in. And with the current governor pushing us very far to the left as he auditions for president of the United States in a Democratic primary for 2028, his positions don't represent what most Illinoisans have. And those are the issues that we're concentrating on, things that we all have in common together, and are not being separated by race or separated by regional area or jurisdiction. We're definitely a grassroots group that is coming from the bottom up instead of billionaires coming from the top down.
I met you at the gala event of the Philippine Independence Week Committee kickoff. Are you familiar with attending the Filipino functions since you were born?
Yes. Well,
Filipinos are social butterflies.
Of course. My father graduated from Cebu Institute of Technology. I've been very blessed that even as a young child that he would take me to his different groups that were participating here in Chicago. And then I went to the Philippines to be there for my dad's 40th reunion with his other graduates. I took my wife with me and introduced her. She's an American. I introduced her to a lot of our culture. I introduced her to what it's like to be a Filipino in the Philippines. My parents always believed in making sure that I never forgot about my Filipino roots. So I've been to the Philippines 6 times. We usually go about every 5 years. We had a little break during the COVID where we didn't go, but we were there for the Sinulog. We're there to meet with our family. A lot of my dad's brothers and sisters still reside in the Philippines. He came from a family of 13, and about 8 of them still live in the Philippines, and we have very strong roots there. And we understand that the Philippine economy is really based on people that have left Filipinos, domestic workers, engineers, nurses, and send money back. And that's how we keep our ties there. And we're very much supportive of a lot of Filipino policies because that's what I was raised on.
Great, terrific. Do you speak the language Filipino or Tagalog?
So my dad speaks both Tagalog and Visaya. When I go to the Philippines, after about a week and a half, I'm pretty good at it. The challenge for me is that I don't get to practice as much as I would like. But understanding, the English dialect and understanding Spanish, which I use a little bit more than my Tagalog or my Visayan, those are things of area of growth that I would like to practice more. But running for vice governor of Illinois, raising my 6 kids, and developing my business. I started my family business here in the United States in 2000 and was able to grow it and develop it to make it a multi-state nationwide company from, $2,500 to making it a multi-million-dollar company. And having my children working for my company after they graduated college is one of my strongest success. Because a lot of concern that I had was when one of my sons went to Iowa State, my other son went to University of Illinois. I've got one now at Oakton in Des Plaines and another one at the University of Iowa. I'm always concerned that they're not going to come back because the opportunity in Illinois is not as strong as there are in other states. When they leave Illinois, I'm always concerned if they're ever going to come back. Fortunate enough, our family bond is strong, but I would understand if they did because there's more opportunities and other states are more competitive. I think it's very sad that in Illinois, we export one of our greatest treasures, and that's our children. The path to being a first-time homeowner in Illinois, the path to being out of college debt, the path to getting a high-paying job, the path to being financially stable in Illinois is not what it was 10 years ago. And that's something that Darren and I are very concerned about that we want to be able to, for Illinois families to be able to thrive in Illinois, not just survive.
What is your favorite Filipino food?
Lumpia for sure, no question about it. I'm fortunate enough to have some great restaurants around me. A good friend of mine owns Pinoy Street Food in Arlington Heights on Rand Road. I'm a very big fan of that. The Filipino cuisine is something that it was always seen as a treat in my house. My parents, both had full-time jobs and worked a lot, and I was raised primarily by my grandmother, who was from the Philippines. And I even named my daughter after her. Isabel Delmar was my grandmother. We named my daughter Isabella in her honor because she was the one that took care of me on a daily basis and got me to school and got me to church. And she got me to where I needed to go so my parents could save and could work hard and to do that. And she was an integral part. So when she would cook for me, it was a sign of the love. It was a sign of warmth. It was comforting. And so when I have Filipino food today, I remember those times as somebody that loved me so much and raised me, and it brings back fond memories.
All right, very good. So proud of you, Aaron. Are you ready, willing and able to go around the Filipino American community of Chicago for your campaign trails as candidate for vice governor of Illinois?
100%. Most people think I'm of Hispanic descent because my last name is Delmar. A lot of people don't realize that Spain had control of the Philippines for many, many years, and that's why a lot of our names are of Hispanic descent. But I'm always quick to remind them that as much as I treasure Hispanic people and their values, I'm a proud Filipino. I'm proud that my dad immigrated here and he left his family and left his opportunities in the Philippines to be able to give me a life better than he had. I'm proud to talk about our heritage. I'm proud for people to know that while we might be a smaller community compared to other minority groups, that we're very strong and we're very proud. We're very conservative. We're a community that believes in faith, that believes in God. And I like to share my story with fellow Filipinos that may not know that. It is an incredible honor to be on the ballot with Darren Bailey and to represent our Filipino community and the Asian community as a whole. And I'm excited to be able to teach my children and participate in events because they're a quarter Filipino. And I want them to know their heritage. I want them to know that the troubles and the struggles that my father had to bring us here. Because I think it's important to identify who they are. And of course, we assimilate into American culture. They're Americans. But it didn't start here. It started in Cebu. And I think it's important to be respectful to my family in the Philippines, to honor them and to show them what we can do here in Illinois and in the United States.
All right. Thank you so much. When is the election?
So the first election is March 17th. And I think that's important for people to remember. That March 17th is the election. You can early vote 2 weeks before. That's right. Please come out and vote for us. The Republican primary, you need to ask for a Republican ballot. You'll see Darren Bailey and Aaron Delmar. I joke around. It's the farmer and the Del. Right? He's a farmer from Southern Illinois. My last name's Delmar. So we tell everyone vote for the farmer and the Del. I feel very positive that we're going to be strong in this primary. The polling shows us ahead by a very significant margin. And then after March 17th, we're going to turn our sights onto November and representing us at the highest level of office. Wouldn't it be exciting? Wouldn't it be something very proud to have one of our own Filipinos from Chicago, from the suburbs, to represent us at the second highest office in Illinois? My dad has been traveling with me on the campaign trail, and he's a very strong supporter. And he's gone on and said to me many times, son, I never imagined when I came here from the Philippines that my son would be running for vice governor. And it touches me. It's a very emotional time for me and my dad because I know that he worked so hard so I could have this opportunity.
Great. Okay. All right. Thumbs up. All right, Aaron. I am really very happy to have you here on our show today. Thank you for gracing our show. And please holler if you need some help around the community, all right?
Yes.
And
You know,
maraming salamat sa iyo. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!
that's right. Thank you so much. You can go to baileyforillinois.com if you want to learn more about me, if you want to see pictures of my family, if you want to sign up to be a volunteer, if you want to donate to our campaign. Every dollar helps move Illinois forward. So you can go to baileyforillinois.com and learn more about our positions, our campaign, and more about me. Or you can also go to Aaron for Illinois is my website also. And you can see my history, you can see my heritage, you can see my positions, the offices that I've held. I think it's important for people to know and to be able to trust that Darren Bailey and I are ready to govern on day one. We've already run statewide. Darren was a state representative, a state senator. I've started out, like I mentioned, as a councilman, all the way to co-chairman of the Illinois GOP statewide. We are the team that is honest, that is transparent, and that is ready to do the right thing for the people of Illinois and represent you well and work very hard for all Illinoisans. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Maraming salamat at mabuhay si Aaron.
Anang alaman.
Okay, thank you for gracing our show and bye.
Take care.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our community has been to just stay silent and like keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be like someone to start that conversation.
You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today, I have this very young, very beautiful young Filipina who is thriving and getting so popular in the modeling world. Her name is Lena Herrero. What is your middle name, Lena?
Lena Tiangson Herrero po, tita.
Lena.
Lena Tiangson Herrero.
Yeah, Lena Tiangco. Okay, the Tiangco. I remember. Okay, Lena Tiangco Herrero. Okay, welcome to our show.
Thank you
And
po, tita, for having me.
looking
Hi, everyone.
prettier, this little girl. I've known her since she was a little girl.
Yes po.
Okay, all right. Lena, I've invited you here today for a chit-chatty well, talk about your modeling career. And okay, Lena is really a petite runway fashion model, right?
Yes, yes. So, I am a petite model over here in Chicago. I have been modeling runway since 2019. I started more on a charity base, which is the Live Out Loud charity back in 2019. There were 1,000 people that actually has watched us at the Palmer House in Chicago. So it was a very big show. And I do thank you, Sherry, for inviting me and to be able to showcase as well the designers that we have locally in the Chicago area during that show. And ever since then, I have been mostly, at least 3 or 4 times a year, been modeling on runway, and also have been doing some print modeling too. That is really more on local brand ambassadors as well that I do for brand owners. And I am very honored to present their products as well. So I am very thankful for that.
Okay, so you have been doing this since about 2019, as you
Yes.
said, and what really attracted you to do modeling?
Tita, it's been a little bit on, the back of my head in regards to doing something like this. Back when I was 20 years old, I am going to be 48 this year. Um, when I was 20 years old, I was crowned as the Miss West Suburban Philippine Civic Group back in 1999. And ever since then, I just really had a dream to be on a runway with other models. It's a little bit hard because I am petite. I am only 5'1". However, with the diversity and inclusivity that a lot of the designers and the fashion show producers have been providing to us petite models, it definitely has been an open platform for us to be able to be on runways. You don't have to be 5'9" or 6'1" to be able to do a runway as well. So definitely, if there are women out there that, want to do it, even though you are not 5'9" or 6'1", you can definitely do runway modeling.
Wow, okay. That's why your category is petite.
Yes.
Okay, petite is about wow, 5'4", 5'3", maybe 5'3" to 5'2".
Yes,
5'6".
it can go
5'4".
5'6" and below. Yes. 5'6" and below.
Yeah. All right. Very good. And okay, so you have been modeling around town and even as Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, right?
Yes, yes. Wisconsin, Indiana, St. Louis as well. back in 2020, 2021, I know it was pandemic, but I was able to go to LA as well as in New York to do fashion runway during their, fashion week back in 2022, 2023. And I just have been honored too to be on the billboard in 2021 and 2022. So that was like three times that I was on billboard. So I'm very honored.
I think, where was it? I saw you modeling that the last one here in Chicago. That was that's a huge fashion show featuring what's her name?
Kristen Regalado, Tita. Her name is Kristen Regalado. She is a designer for
Galado, yeah.
American pageantry. Yes. So she does a lot of gowns for pageant women, like Miss America pageants, Miss Teen America pageants. And yes, we did do that in 2024. It was in Schaumburg and it was a successful fashion show. There's a lot of people that went, about 500 people that, supported that organization. And we are proud to be, I was proud to be one of the directors for the models for that day. All of the models did really well as our audience as well, that supported us. So we appreciate their help and support.
Wow. How is she doing these days?
Oh, she's very busy.
Very,
There's,
very busy, I bet.
definitely very busy. She's been doing a lot of charity as well. She's done charity in the Philippines. They have this like teddy bear charity where they would auction out teddy bears and then would be able to provide the the profit for that one and then bring back to the community in the Philippines.
Wow. She gets involved with Miss Universe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those
Yes. So there's a
beauty
lot
pageant.
of, yes, there's a lot of beauty pageant as well as crowned models, crowned beauty queens that ask for her to design their gowns for, for the show. So she has done a lot of those. And we
Terrific.
are very proud of her
Terrific.
too. Yes.
All right. So it sounds to me that you're really enjoying the modeling world very much.
Yes, pa. It's, it is, as I've noted, having the platform right now for petite models and diverse inclusivity, it is really important for us women to provide the voice of us petite women and be able to go ahead and showcase designers, local designers, as well as international designers on the showcase floor on the runway.
Great. Wow. You're a young, you're married and a young mother, right?
Yes, I am married, not as young as I wanted to be, but yes, I have two kids, two children, two beautiful children. Um, my daughter is 21 and my son is 18 years old. So, yeah, and my husband supports this thing that I do as well very well. And I do appreciate that. Family support is definitely number one key.
Where do you plan to go from here as far as your love for fashion is concerned?
Yeah, so I'm still going to do runway. We do have Model Icon that is going to have a runway show in May, May 2nd in Chicago, Illinois, and then May 17th that is going to be in Indiana. So I am going to be trying to apply for casting for that show. And then also, there is going to be some type of a pageantry that is going on I am still holding the Miss Stellar World Royal Brand Ambassador since 2023. They just held their pageant in Bahamas this year. Although I was not able to go, they did a very beautiful show over there, and we do have a new Miss Stellar World 2026. So those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to be able to help and support.
Good, very good. What tips, before we sign off, what tips can you give to young girls like you who want to, who really have dreams of becoming a fashion model? Um, any tips from your experience and and an outlook for the future?
Yes, definitely, pursue your dream. It's your choice, right? It's not because you're petite or you're curvy. It doesn't really matter that much anymore. Be seen out there. Take a look at networks from, social media as well to be able to see where are all of these fashion shows happening and ask questions. Definitely for me, it's never too late to pursue your dream. So if you do want to go ahead and be a runway model someday or even right now, it's okay if you do not get casted at first. It's okay to be able to, hear the no's, keep pursuing it, and there will come a time that you will hear yes.
Great. All right, Lena. Lena, I really enjoy having you here in my show, but we're running out of time.
Thank you so much,
And
Shita
so,
Vero. We appreciate, I'm very honored to be on this show as always. I
all
appreciate
right.
you. Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa iyo at well, thank you for gracing our show today.
Salamat po. Thank you,
Miss
everyone.
Lena Tiangco Herrero.
Yeah, Lana
And
Tiang Herrero po. Thank you.
all right. Okay. By now, at maraming salamat po sa inyong pananood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye now, Lena.
Bye. Thank you.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Karina Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community. President Donald Trump told Grammy Awards host Trevor Noah to expect a lawsuit over the comedian's false and defamatory statement, claiming the president had visited disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein's island. In a Truth Social post issued early Monday, Trump slammed the Grammy Awards broadcast as virtually unwatchable and accused Noah of spreading a probably false smear during the CBS telecast. Trump categorically denied ever visiting Epstein's private Caribbean island and said Noah's joke crossed the line from political commentary into defamation. Filipino-American activists joined thousands of people across the United States on Friday, January 30th, 2026, for a nationwide day of action calling for an end to aggressive immigration enforcement and demanding Congress to stop funding U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. The protest was part of a national shutdown strike with the slogan, "No work, no school, no shopping." The goal was to send a clear message: stop funding ICE, stop funding immigration crackdowns. What were the protesters demanding? Organizers and community groups made 3 major demands. Congress must stop all future funding for ICE. Current ICE funding, estimated by organizers at about $85 billion, must be reversed. An end to mass arrests, raids, and deportations. Some Filipino participation. Filipino-American organizations played a visible role in the protests. Groups that mobilized included Filipino Workers Center, PWC, Bayan USA, National Democratic Filipino Organizations. Filipino activists joined rallies in major cities including Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., and Minneapolis. Many participants said the actions were also meant to draw attention to Filipinos currently being held in ICE detention centers and at risk of deportation. The new Amazon MGM documentary, Melania, is tracking toward a stronger than expected opening weekend of at least $8 million, a result that would mark the biggest debut for a documentary in 10 years. Mark Beckman, the movie's producer, told Newsmax's The Count on Saturday that the opening weekend has been such an incredible success. It's official, he said. We are the #1 highest opening in the past decade for documentaries. The film, an inside look at the First Lady Melania Trump's final 20 days leading up to President Donald Trump's second inauguration last January, is also being billed as the most expensive documentary ever produced. Beckman also said the film received an A for something called the cinema score, describing it as a measure of audience sentiment. It's very rare for movies to score with an A, Beckman said, and we got it. Illinois' population grew by 16,108 in 2025 thanks to an influx of people migrating from other countries, but Illinoisans moving away offset most of that gain. People moving to Illinois from other countries again saved the state from population decline, but the gain could have been much larger had so many Illinoisans not opted to move to other states in 2025. Illinois' population grew by 16,108 residents from July 2024 to June 2025, according to estimates released January 27th by the U.S. Census Bureau. The increase marks the third consecutive year of population increases driven by the massive surge in international migration, which began in 2022. International migration levels remained far above their pre-pandemic averages last year. If not for the elevated international migration figures, Illinois' population would have continued to decline, as more than 40,000 residents left Illinois for other states last year. The state saw only an 11,000 boost to the population from natural increases, more births than deaths. Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulias and other stakeholders will announce a comprehensive statewide initiative to protect pedestrians, riders, and drivers by addressing the dangerous rise of unregulated, high-speed, high-powered electric bikes, scooters, skateboards, and unicycles on Illinois streets and sidewalks. The multi-pronged campaign, Ride Safe, Ride Smart, Ride Ready, combines public education, updated driver training, and a push for modernized safety laws to keep pace with the fast-evolving micro-mobility industry. As e-bikes and similar devices become faster, heavier, and more powerful, Illinois law has not kept up, putting lives at risk. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
all these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our community has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction. In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be someone to start that conversation.
Yeah. You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.